My name is Lucy Cox. I'm a digital business analyst in the web and digital team at Northamptonshire County Council, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about how I got to where I am in the tech industry. So it all started for me when I was doing my GCSEs at secondary school. I knew I wanted to get involved with computers, but at that time I didn't really know what in specifically. So obviously my options helped me with that for my GCSEs. I had to do ICT as a statutory course, so that really helped me kind of get more of an understanding of what it was in computing that I wanted to get involved in. Once I'd finished my GCSEs, I stayed on and did 2 years at sixth form at the same school, and I did the ICT Cambridge Technicals course during those 2 years. It was really interesting for me. I got to, use different elements of the computer, from report writing to design work and animation and that sort of thing. So it kind of helped me test kind of a variety of different skills in computing and helped me get to where I am today. In year 10 at secondary school, we all had to do 2 weeks of work experience. And for my work experience, I had an interview with the web and digital team at Northamptonshire County Council, where I was then accepted, and I worked with a member of their team to mock up some designs for an outdoor learning centre service website. I visited Grendon Outdoor Learning Centre to just get an idea of the service area that I was helping to design a website for, really, and it was so interesting. And I got to take photos. Those photos then ended up going on the website, which was fantastic because when I went back to school and I got to pass this information on, the teachers were really impressed. When I started sixth form, I decided to take IT Cambridge Technicals, product design and theatre studies, with very clear intentions for each of them. So theatre studies, I wanted to do that primarily for the reason of I wanted to build my confidence. I wanted to make sure that if I can get up on a stage and perform something unfamiliar, then I can, go up to somebody in a meeting room or something and speak to them about something that I'm maybe not quite confident on, or have a conversation with someone that I don't really know. Product design, I was just really interested in the whole element of design, whether that was on a computer or in a physical space. It was just a really fun option to take, and I got a lot out of it in terms of user research, understanding what a user needs out of a project or a product, and that's one of the really important things actually that I've been able to then transfer into my working career now. I also had a part-time job when I was in sixth form, so it started off as a pot wash in a local pub, and then that changed to a waitress. I worked there for a couple of years and really enjoyed it, loved meeting new people and using my skills that I'd learnt there, obviously customer service skills, having to speak to people you've never met before, dealing with conflicts if there's a meal that's not quite right or something like that. Really important skills to learn. I would still recommend, going out there, finding a part-time job. Obviously in the current climate, it's difficult, and I really appreciate that and I empathise. So, don't lose faith, don't lose hope that you'll never get to finding that part-time work. Things will come up, you'll find something that you feel comfortable doing. Towards the end of sixth form was when you kind of had to start looking at what you wanted to do after that. And I knew that I didn't want to go to university because I wanted to try something a bit different and kind of break away from that school type environment. So I wanted to start looking at apprenticeships, going down that route, maybe a route of full-time employment to see what that was like, what kind of job offers that I could try and apply for. And that's when I came across the National Apprenticeship Show. So I attended an event which I know that this year is happening virtually, which is great because obviously people can still find out what apprenticeship opportunities there are available around Northamptonshire, around the Milton Keynes area. There were loads of employers at the National Apprenticeship Show, which I thought was really good. They very much varied in industry type as well, so there was sort of a little bit of everything for everyone. I found it really interesting, even just starting to talk to people about that apprenticeship route, because I actually didn't know that much about it at the time, and coming away from it I'd learned quite a lot, and I kind of knew then that that was my route, that was the route that I wanted to go down. As well as going to the apprenticeship show, I also decided to sign up to a few employment agencies that were kind of based locally to me. They took into account, my skill set, what I was interested in, and then basically just kept me up to date when anything kind of came on the market, really, of jobs within this digital computing industry that I was interested in. It was really useful for me to sign up to some of these agencies because they helped me identify some of the skills that I didn't know I had. So I definitely recommend that as an extra route if you're looking to go into full-time employment. Ask for that little bit of extra help, ask friends, ask family if they know of any job roles going in the industry that you're interested in. So fast forward, I finished sixth form and I'm not 100% sure what job role it is I want to go into. And I decided to get in touch with the manager at the time of my work experience, so the manager of the web and digital team, just to find out really what kind of job roles that they had in their team, if they were offering any kind of apprenticeship roles. Luckily at the time, they were actually advertising for a website administrator post, and I thought if I wanted to get into this type of area, wanted to get into this industry, this might be a good stepping stone into that. So I applied for the job and I'm very grateful to say that I received the job offer. And from the get-go, I started working with members of the team. They started showing me elements of website improvement that they worked on. There were people that worked on the more technical side of the website improvement. There were other people that worked on the content side of it. So I had a real varied view of different posts within a web and digital team in the digital industry. And it was really, really interesting, very useful, and I was very excited to start the journey of my digital experience. Instantly, I could see that I was taking some of the transferable skills that I had from school, so being able to use things like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those things, having the presentation skills that I learned at school, all of those skills I was able to slot straight into my working career. And being able to work on different website projects with members of the team meant that I could meet new people within the county council. And that's one of the best things I think about full-time work or any type of employment, is you're constantly meeting new people. It might sound daunting sometimes when you have to go into a meeting room and there are people that you've never met before, but actually it helps your development skills, I think. I always want to bust a myth about working in an office environment and how people sometimes think that it's just sitting at a desk all day and then that's it. But I really think that working in the digital industry and this technology driven sector, that actually there are so many opportunities, especially around website improvement. Since working here, I've worked on projects where I've had to go to Longtown Outdoor Learning Centre. We visited the Brecon Beacons for a day to kind of get an understanding of the user needs of the users of Longtown Outdoor Learning Centre, to then transfer them into the website to make the website as easy to use for those people as possible. And along with that, again, I got to take photos for the website, which was a great experience, bringing in something that I love and mixing it with obviously a job that I love to do. Another project that I've been involved in is working with Digital Northampton on managing their event Merged Futures 2020. Really exciting project work for me because events management is obviously something you don't expect to be doing, but it's almost like it's just another area that slots into it so well. When I first started my job, it was quite daunting, obviously, with new faces, a completely different environment, different expectations, so more on-time management. I had to make sure that work I was asked to do was handed in on time, similar to school, but you kind of had to manage that time on your own rather than being told, we need it in on this day. You kind of had to tell them when you were able to get something done by. As part of my professional development, I knew that I wanted to further develop my understanding of a specific area within the organisation, and I had the opportunity to undertake a business analysis apprenticeship. So that's currently what I'm doing now. I'm almost finished. I've got a couple more months left to go until I have my full assessment, and then obviously they then determine whether I've passed. My business analysis apprenticeship is teaching me skills around being analytical of specific information that the service give you, making sure that you're constantly keeping in communication with stakeholders or people that are part of the project. Obviously, with my previous work experience and my part-time work experience, I've already got those communication skills, so it's just making sure that I apply them at the right time. As a business analyst, you have to make sure that you've communicated what the customer wants to the developers, to the people that make the product, so that when it's time to go live with that product, it's translated in the best way possible and it's functioning as the customer expects it to. And although sometimes the terminology used or how they communicate can seem quite dull and boring, it actually doesn't have to be, and you can kind of make it your own. When you hold meetings with the people involved in the project, you can make them as interactive as you possibly can to get everyone involved, and that comes down to things like what I learned in school. When I did theatre studies at sixth form, learning that confidence is key, and it kind of gets you a long way when you're meeting new people and getting these people involved in these meetings. It's really important to remember that. I always think it's really important not to be put off by some of the things that are said around having the experience before you get into a job. I think it's always funny when you see advertisements that say you need to have 5 years of experience, when actually, you're just finishing out of school. You don't have, there's no possible way to have that much experience. I think you should never be deterred by that, and that you should just always go for something. If you feel like you're capable and you're comfortable in applying for something that you're interested in, go for it. And there are so many roles and apprenticeships out there that are looking for people fresh out of school and fresh out of university that have the knowledge and the new ideas to apply to that sector. And it would be a shame for you to miss out on that because you maybe think that you're too young, or you just don't have the capabilities. You're capable of anything when you put your mind to it. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 years. I definitely say that I've challenged myself, which is always good. I've learned so many new techniques and skills, and I've been able to then apply them to the work that I've been doing for the past 2 years. I feel like having this apprenticeship behind me and sort of proving that I've had the learning, I've got the qualifications, will really help me push forward in my career and kind of take me to where I want to go next. And I hope that this video helps you ask yourself what's next. What is it that you want your career to look like? There's so many options out there, especially in the technology industry. It's forever growing. New jobs are being created every single day. It's such a great industry and sector to be in. There are so many opportunities, so don't miss out.